So the World Championships just ended, and during the World Championships, I, for myself, discovered a wrestler for the first time named Ami Isi. Hopefully, I'm saying her name correctly. And she is officially my favorite women's wrestler and one of my favorite wrestlers, regardless of gender, because of her love of Turks, and especially the arm Turk, which is the most underrated Turk, because it's one of those things of the trap leg Turk and the arm Turk are both underrated. But the arm Turk, people legit, like, they fall into an arm Turk and they will just take their arm out of it, right? It's absolutely crazy. She's a two-time world champion. The only reason, so how I end up finding Ishii is she teched Kennedy Blades 12-1. And I'm just like, okay, let me watch that match, because I mean, she teched Kennedy Blades 12-1, right? As an American, I'm like, whoa. And in that match, she ended up using an arm Turk to get exposure. And the way she used it, I mean, people will use it, right? Obviously, that's how I know it's a position that works. But the way she looked for it and stayed with it, I was like, this probably wasn't a one-off. So then I ended up watching her other matches at the World Championships. This is before she won in the finals. And after I did that, I ended up going on Flow and watching all her matches dating back to 2022. And this is a position that she uses frequently. And when I watch her wrestle, this is what I think about. Part 1 in my book, Become a Low Risk, High Reward Wrestler, is called Turks and Splitting the Legs. And I want to create guys who notice these opportunities off of the leg attacks that they're already doing. Right? Not a full ad for that. Wanted to plug that real quick. So let's just go through her wrestling, right? She attacks both sides of the body well. That's a nice head inside single she does. She's going to end up, I believe she's going to sit the defensive wrestler to her butt. And after she shelves it on her outside leg. And the way she finds these opportunities, she's going to get a Navy in this clip, because the wrestler tries to turn away from her. And she uses the Navy to turn her, get exposure. Obviously, in folk style, this would be multiple backs. Most likely in the folk style, they would actually try to get their chest down and you switch to an arm Turk. But she uses the Navy to get a pin. Also, the arm Turk and the Navy are two sides of the same coin. If you're good at one, you need to be good at both. This position right here. So many people get into this position naturally. If you get into this position, the bottom wrestler, the new bottom wrestler, because now you just got to take down most likely, if they're on their hip or their butt, try to get a Turk or a Navy, right? You're trying to get something. You can see her. She's gonna get her arm inside right here to get this arm Turk, and from here she's gonna get easy exposure. And it's one of those positions. Now, keep in mind, for my folk style guys, she is not trying to keep them on their back if she can just get exposure and they're fighting it hard. You can obviously get back points this way. I included arm Turks in my fireman's videos, because you would end up with an arm Turk often from the fireman's carry, or fireman's dump, I should say. Here, head outside double, opponent on their butt, reaches inside. She has the arm Turk right here. Now, right, I like this clip a lot, because you will see her. One of the main finishes from the arm Turk is a bottom leg cradle. And then the other finishes, you just like hook the arm, hook the shoulder, and just run them over to the back. So here you can see her switching based on the opponent's reaction. She's going to be switching from what she wants to do. So she has the arm hooked. Then she's going to straighten the head, back down to the arm, back over to the head, back over to the arm. I mean, she just keeps doing it back and forth based on what she thinks is there. And she gets easy exposure. Opponent turns away from her, gets a Navy to turn her back towards her, and then switches back to the arm Turk. Again, when they turn away from you, if they're trying to belly down into you, that's an arm Turk. If they try to belly down away from you, you switch to a Navy. They turn back into you. Notice what this Navy hand does. When she tries to turn back into her, switches to the bottom leg, an arm Turk. And she's going to keep her on her back, or she gets a pin in this clip, I believe. I believe she does eventually get a pin. In a situation where most people would have just got a 2-point takedown, or in folk style 3-point takedown, and left it at that. She gets a lot of pins. off of her basic leg attacks. And these opportunities are always here. I'm gonna admit like a small, because I wasn't writing down these type of things. So I just started noticing them not too long ago and focusing on them. But I already have a few clips in my head where I know the arm turk was available, and people just kind of ignored it, even though they. I'm not even talking about situations where they could have went for one and didn't go for one. I'm talking about situations where they had one and they took their arm out. She's down 6-2 in this match, going to end up being down 8-3, right? Because she just got taken through, then got a reversal, 8-3, 2-1. Again, in this position, if that bottom leg is further up than the top leg, if it's in front of the top leg, dude, a turk is there. So she gets the arm turk, and then she gets a half against a person she was losing to. This is at the 2022 World Championships, where she ended up making the finals, and she lost to Tamira Mensah. Coincidence, Tamira, my daughter was just born on the 18th, like 3 days ago, and her name is Zoe Tamira Davis. I named it after Tamira Mensah. My son's middle name is Jordan, obviously after Jordan Burroughs. Coincidentally enough, but oh yeah, anytime you go cut back, now she went cut back and she ended up taking her arm out to get double, but then she ended up going back to the arm turk. The arm turk is there all the time. Switches to the Navy. Now, this is very useful in folk style. We already know this, but an added benefit to it doing it in freestyle is the main thing you want to do against a Navy split leg turk, arm turk, is get your knees in front. But when you defend the Navy this way in freestyle, you end up falling into a leg lace. So just another reason why we should be like focusing on these techniques so much more. They're useful, super useful, and not just folk style, but also in their own way in freestyle as well. It's easier to get exposure in freestyle, and you can go to a leg lace. I mean, that's pretty huge. Somebody at the Cadet World Championships on the United States, on the U.S. team, did that Navy to a leg lace. I think it was Jaden James. I'm not sure. In this match here, she falls into a split leg turk. She switches to the arm turk and easy exposure for the tech. These opportunities are there all of the time. Low single. Only turk you typically see people going to from a low single is a trap leg turk, or the trap turk. But I mean, she can transition to pretty much anything. She's very patient in this position as well. And I'm gonna show the whole thing. This is an underrated part of turks is how much of a time waster it is. It eats away at a lot of clock, which it is useful in situations where you want it to be. So just some situations that you guys may know from your memory is if you look at the Penn State Ohio State duel this past season, she ends up with the split leg turk. She's gonna switch to the arm turk because she likes that one a lot. And then she eventually gets a pin. But Levi Haynes versus Carson Hartzler, Levi Haynes stayed in the turk for the last like minute of the match, and it allowed him to have a pretty comfortable, safe win once he got his takedown, even though he never got back points from it. Josh Barr versus Jacob Cardenas, unfortunately, Josh Barr got that split leg turk in the first period for like a minute, and that got him right in time, and it made it very difficult for Jacob Cardenas to come back. This is Ishii against Kylie Welker. Now, she got in on the leg, let me see, at 4 minutes and 16 seconds, right? So she gets her takedown. She keeps his ankle, right? She's very good at keeping his ankle. Still hasn't scored technically because she gave up that shot clock point, but she does score. And most people would have just took their leg out and tried to go to a gut or a leg lace. But she's like, nah, you're in bad position. Like she takes advantage of bad position more than anybody else I've seen. And if you combine her technique with Levi Haynes and Stefan Michik, I mean, you have like a Turk master, just complete Turk master. Yeah. Right here, you can see her go from a split leg Turk. She's gonna get her arm inside for the arm Turk. And she's gonna end up keeping Kylie Walker on her back until the break, and she gets multiple exposure points. She's just got another exposure point. So yeah, she's really good at this. Really, really impressive. I went down an entire rabbit hole watching her wrestle. This is the World Finals match in 2024, World Finals. So she's down 4-4, right? We're gonna go into what we just talked about with the time waster. So now it's 6-6. She's down via criteria because that was 2-2. But she's on her hip. She's on her hip, man. When you're on your hip with your bottom leg in front, Ishii is gonna punish you for that. So she now right now she has I think she has an arm turk and a split leg turk. But now she has the arm turk. She's going to keep it. So many people wouldn't have kept this. They would have spent the last minute fighting hard. But she gets exposure. So she gets 2 points. It's gonna mess up a little bit right here. We're gonna keep it playing because you guys can see how she's taking her over 2 more. I think they end up getting waived because she ended up winning 8-6. But you guys saw it was a minute left. There was 1 minute left when she got the takedown, and she's just going to stay on top for the rest of the match. Never even gets back up. So you never have to defend, almost lose. Like that's a huge benefit to have. So that was her first. That's how she won her first world title. She won her first world title with the arm turk. That's pretty cool. This is 2025 World Championships. Finishes the way most people finish. Head outside. She's gonna end up getting the arm turk. I believe she got an arm turk right here. Yep. Now it's 4-0. She's going to use this arm turk to get 3 exposure. And the reason why in freestyle is still considered a defensible position because they get their entire chest to the mat. It's not like when they right here. Even though the legs are tangled up, it's not like she's standing on her side. That's why they consider it defensible because her chest is to the mat. So when she runs her back over and exposes her back, that's a whole new thing. 8, there's 2 more. 10. And then you see how she can, when the bottom wrestler finally tried to turn away from her, the navy is right there because your arms are already in between. I mean, your arm is already in between the legs. I mean, it's perfect, and they all work together so well. This is her match against Kennedy Blades that made me look at the rest of her matches. And in my book, I talked about how you see how she found it. That for me was kind of like she searched for it. She didn't just fall into it. And then once she got it, she actually was determined to use it. Most people they would have stepped over both legs and took their arm out. But once she got it, she was very aggressive about using it. And it says she got 2 points here, but she got 2 and 2. So I'm gonna keep it playing so you guys can see that. This is a 4-point exchange. Like going feet to back. Right? That's what becoming a low risk, high reward wrestler is all about. For so many years on this channel, I advocated for the fireman's dump. Why? Because you can go feet to back in a low risk way. I advocated for upper body techniques, throws like the drop whip over or Iranian lat drop, the hip toss, like so many ways. So I talked about so many times on this channel how upper body is neglected. Why? Because the whole point of wrestling is taking somebody to their back, right? So let's take somebody to their back. But most people don't focus on taking other wrestlers to their back because they've been taught that, oh, I'm putting myself at risk by going for that. That is so stupid. That's not even true, right? I'm sorry that coaches have been saying that, but that's not true at all. You can take people to their back in ways to where you aren't putting yourself at risk for even giving up a takedown, let alone getting put to your own back. This isn't like some wrestlers wrestle that way, but it's not a submit mixer. It's not like a suicide like lat drop or something, you know? I shouldn't say it on YouTube. No, I can't I'm just gonna cut that part out. Yeah. This is a 2023 world champion. 2023 world champion. And the year this lady won Worlds, she wrestled Ishii in the semifinals where she tech Ishii. So this is a good competitor. This isn't like some random person. This is a 2023 world champion that she's wrestling who tech her in order to make the finals. Split leg turk. She's going to get her arm inside for the arm turk, and she's going to use that arm turk to get exposure. In my book, I talked about how usually you see people use the arm turk to get to the split leg turk. right? And Stefan Michik is also really good at that. So I made the video on him 2 weeks ago showing that. But she uses the split leg turk to get to the arm turk. And the last 3 clips are just, she's not using like any clean like split leg turk, arm turk, trap turk. She's just using her attacks and keeping the legs split or entangled in a way to where she can eventually end up exposing her opponent's back to the mat, which is a mindset thing. Even when the technique isn't clean, she's still looking for these things. She uses her whole body here. She's gonna end up getting a half Nelson. That like that gap opens up, half Nelson easy. I mean, you can't move if you're the bottom person. And then last clip here, another low single, sits her opponent to her butt, takes it straight back to her back. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I just hope there's a few of you guys who take this video seriously, study it, like alongside my Levi Haynes video that I posted yesterday and my Stefan Michik video that I posted 2 weeks ago. And you will be a master at the Turk. And throw in my Make the Navy Ride Great Again video as well. You have all of it, right? Cool. See you guys in the next video.